Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage. Today we are working on the Schroll Coupe again. We've been kicking butt on this thing and I'm trying to get this together by the fall, and we're also trying to get it together as a roller and a in-progress project for the Wheels and Time Street Rod show that is the end of August, the weekend of the 28th. We will be there with a little booth hanging out, and we hope to have this car here, which is in like 3 weeks, so we gotta hurry up. So what I'm working on in this video is we got the frame all painted, we got the front axle that was painted, assembled, put back underneath of the frame, and we rolled the frame like you see here underneath of the body, which is hanging. And now we need to work on the rear end. You guys saw that we had the problems or exploration to figure out the rear axle, rear end situation. So we're gonna work on getting that all put back together, get that underneath of the frame, and then I'm gonna work on the engine and trans setup and try and get that put together, painted, and in the car so that we're really close to getting the body put back on. It doesn't sound like that much, but it's a lot of work, so hopefully we'll all get it done in this video. Right now, it's correct now. I got it.
Watch the studs to see how one here. All right. Go over in there somewhere. All right. Biscuit. Okay, so it's small. What's that?
Splinter.
Yeah, you're turning mine.
Let me see if I can steer it over here.
Take the end that way.
Okay, cool. Now we're off it. We're off it now.
Off that shocks now.
All right, so I got the engine and trans in by myself because I'm impatient, and everything went pretty well there. We ended up repairing the little notch in the shift tower to keep the shifter from spinning. One of them was broken, so I used stainless rod and TIG welded it and repaired that real quick, just a, maybe 5-10 minute fix. Just brush painted the trans with Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus. That's all good. Slid it together, dropped it in, and it is good to go. So now what we're going to be doing is just putting on this like tape. I don't want to call it tape, but this padding or webbing that goes on in between the body and the frame. This is stuff just when we do buyouts from estates. We usually try and keep this kind of stuff because a lot of the older guys that we buy stuff from like to overbuy, so they usually have like 3 of everything. So we usually have extra rolls of this laying around. So I have a roll of this. I know that a lot of times we get questions about this in videos, but this is the like factory type stuff that is used. It is a good thin padding that you can put down over the frame. So we just roll it out. It has like tar in it, and you roll it out, put it down. We have our bolt holes here, so I'll put it just in front of the first bolt hole. And this stuff does kind of conform, but it's about the width of the frame here, about there, and then it does curve a little bit if you kind of hold it. So on this one, because we have that pad for the old roll bar, we got to cut it down. So we'll cut this piece down, use some painter's tape to hold it in place, and then we could start punching the holes. So we'll snip that. And I'll go get some painter's tape. We'll punch the holes, and then we can just put a little bit of spray adhesive on the bottom so it stays in place, or tape, and then we'll be good for when we go to mount the body.
Now, what do we want to do back here because of the rivets of the cross member? Just run one piece up to here?
Yeah, I would just stop for the cross.
Do we want to put a piece here where the rear bolt hole goes?
Yeah, we could do that.
Are you putting tape where the holes are?
Or not,
Oh, okay.
because if otherwise I'll wrap right over the hole. There should be like 2 up there.
What do you use, the pointy punch first?
Yeah, probably just go through with that. And then
One here, is there one up?
there should be one just behind where I started it.
Yep.
And then we could just once you punch that hole, we could put it in the hole punch, probably in the
Yeah, I don't know.
rotary punch.
Centered. I guess that doesn't really matter.
I should pull this back a little bit. That's
Gotta get you some good arbor punches.
I have that one. I don't know how sharp it is.
It's pretty rough looking.
Yeah.
There's some chunks missing out of it. Get some nice arbor punches. You just do this on a piece of wood. It's
Yeah.
like super nice.
Oh, if you get the hole started, we can get the heat.
So this is probably overkill, but we're using the big rotary punch to cut these holes. I did one already just to make sure it would work. It actually works surprisingly well. So we'll pull all these back off the body and knock some holes. So the holes in the frame are about a 1/2 inch. We're actually punching a 5/8 hole just to give us a little extra, trying to line up all these holes in this fabric. We don't want to make them too close, then when we're trying to install the body, we're fighting trying to line everything up.
All right, so we got the mounting pads or tape or whatever you want to call it down, and that's all punched. Mike, as you guys saw, used the little rotary punch. That worked out really awesome, and everything is looking good. So we'll keep the tape on here and kind of drop the frame down. And probably when we get the bolts just started, Mike and I were talking about, we'll pull the tape off. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Once this tar stuff that's inside of this tape or whatever you want to call it starts to heat up, it gets a little gooey, and then it will kind of stick itself to the frame. I know when I've taken cars apart, that's always like really stuck. So that should be fine. It's just that first initial drop down. So we got that in place. It's kind of like good stopping point for the video. I need to work on a couple things in the background in the meantime. Steve's going to probably help us. That comes and helps us, you see in the videos. He's going to probably help us with some of the brake lines that we've already made up, just mounting them back on. It's basically like a kit, so we can just bolt them back on, get them all in place. I have a slave cylinder. I read an old little book article that showed you how to do hydraulic brakes, and this is the Napa part number. So it's like a 50, I want to say it's like 55 or something, or 54 big Ford truck, like the ones that had like the Lincoln Y block in them, like cab over type stuff. They had a hydraulic clutch from factory, and you could still get this. So I got this right from Napa. Looked it up, got the part number, and Napa had one within a day or two away, which is really great, just my local parts store. And this is it, real simple slave cylinder. So we're going to be using this with an original Ford master cylinder, and the trick that you would do is you take the residual valve that's inside of here out and put it all back together for the clutch, and then you can use this. So we just need to make a bracket that will, our push rod will come out of here, which we'll have to just make something, but I'll need to make a bracket down here somewhere. And that's another reason it was good that we flipped the starter over to the other side. We can make a bracket somewhere off of these bolt holes or whatever that will mount this, and then that will work this, that will work the clutch release. I've already put a pry bar in there and put it in gear and tested it. So
tell them about the clutch debacle.
Oh yeah, the clutch debacle. So the clutch, shout out to our buddy Nick, that he just got a 32 Roadster from another friend of ours, and it has basically this exact setup. 324 olds with 37 Lasalle, and the clutch, just from years of driving, was starting to slip and stuff. So he decided to redo the clutch before he went. I think he was going to Syracuse, but anyways, between our friend Jerry and Nick, Jerry texted me and said, hey, he just got those clutch parts together, and he saw I was messing with this. And Nick is a Ford tech, and he figured out all the combination of parts that work. So I researched even further. So this flywheel, a 01 to 04 Mustang, pressure plate, actually the bolt holes, 6 of the bolt holes line up right on the pressure plate. We had this aluminum pressure plate. They lined up. All I had to do was I had to open up every other one of those holes was a little too small, so I opened it up with a drill bit so it was like the exact size of the bolt, so it located perfectly, and we got that all mounted up. Clutch disc, I think it's like 89 to 94 F series non-turbo diesel, 7.3 non-turbo diesel, uses an 11-inch clutch disc with a 10 spline, 1.25 inch, I think it is, diameter. So that all fits the Lasalle, and that's just common parts you can get right off of eBay.
And the flywheel is olds.
Yeah, the flywheel is an old Schaefer, or one of those aluminum flywheels that we have in here, and the bolt holes match this up. It also had bolt holes drilled for a Ford flathead style pressure plate. But the one thing is that I've read a lot, people talk about, is that those pressure plates are very stiff just by nature, the way they are. Whereas this long finger style diaphragm pressure plate, they're actually a lot easier to push in. They work quite a bit easier. So with the hydraulic clutch and all that stuff, this thing should be like super easy to put the clutch in.
Kate will be able to drive it.
Yeah, she will. So I got all that together. It worked out really good. So if you guys are looking to do a similar thing, that's a way you can get some of these parts. They all kind of lined up and work well. Nick drove his car to Syracuse and back with no issues, so I felt good ordering the parts because he already was our guinea pig. And thanks to him for that information. That's what I love about hot rodding, is you just buddies figure stuff out. We all share information, and we're able to help each other out and get cars together. So got that all done. That's good to go. And we got the rear end like we mentioned. I have to do some finish welding on the headers and a couple other things, and we're going to be doing that kind of behind the scenes. I will do a video on doing the slave cylinder bracket and making that up. and then we can drop the body back down. I'm really, really excited to get the body back down and see what this thing looks like. We also got to do the paint blending, so plenty of work is going to happen. It should start happening a lot quicker now that we're over this little bit of a hump. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the engine and trans and rear all set in and painted and looking good. Thanks guys. Catch you later.